Welcome to the Killjoy After Party.
Think the fun is over once you quit drinking?
Think again.
We have a booze-free beverage shop in Nashville, and we hear stories from our customers all the time about how much better life is after booze.
And we're excited to share these stories with you.
And since this is Nashville, you bet your ass
We're making it musical.
Yeah, it tastes like sunshine, like a real good time, lifting my mood and it brightens my day. Gonna rise and go, no alcohol, get my sparkle low. Gonna rise and go.
I am so excited today because we are joined by Mike Michalowicz. He is an entrepreneur and an author of 8 books.
Oh, look at that.
I have most of them here. And he helps entrepreneurs grow and scale their businesses, including ours. We have definitely been a fan of his philosophy. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Mike.
Definitely a joy. Thanks for showing those books. I hope everyone's watching the video. That was amazing.
So do you even know how many businesses you have?
I mean, I have, yes-ish. I mean, I know the ones I own directly, but I've partnered now. That's funny. I was talking to, we have a portfolio manager. I said, how many companies do we have? 12? He's like, no, it's actually 7. I was like, oh, in our portfolio. But I was like, oh, my bad. But collectively, I'm in about 10 to 15 businesses.
That's incredible. What was the beginning for you? When did you start?
Right out of college, couldn't get a job. So I worked for a local computer store. I mean, that was the job I got, but I couldn't get the career job. And one night, went out for drinks with another guy that worked there, and liquid courage, man, liquid courage. He's like, you should start your own business. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to do this. And I left this drunken message for the boss at the computer store saying, I quit. I'm going to kick your ass. And next morning I woke up sober and like, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. And he's like, you're fired. Get out of here. And he's like, you're never going to be successful. And it's amazing what fear and panic, how helpful they are in the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had to survive.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's interesting that the drunken story is what led to you, the beginning, because as you know, Killjoy is a non-alcoholic bottle shop in Nashville, and we talk to people a lot about their journey, and I know that you maybe rarely drink, and I'm curious, was this like a conscious shift or a gradual something that just kind of happened?
Yeah, ironically, to open with that story, I'm not really that into drinking. It can be fun and stuff, but not that into it. I was listening to a podcast and just really am on a serious health kick. And the podcaster says, alcohol, it's poison. You cannot deny that. And I'm like, yeah, it is. So why do it? So I decided in that moment. And for me, I do best when I'm all in or all out. Like, I decided I'm not going to eat many sugary things anymore. And I really suck at I'll have one cookie and I'll be fine. No. Then the trend starts. So I was like, I'm just all out. And so for drinking, I said, I'm all out. Now, that being said, if my wife says we're having a bottle of wine tonight and I want to celebrate, I am with my wife. I'm having a bottle of wine or sharing with her. But otherwise, rarely drink. So much so that this year alone, I know I won't have more than 20 drinks. I actually track it.
Wow.
And just one little last story. I was hosting our own event. We had our members there for this business I run. And there was an after party, and someone came up and said, hey, I bought you a beer, and gave it to me. I'm like, oh. I'm like, I don't want to decline a gift. I'm not going to pour it out or spit it out or something like that. I'm not going to hide it. I said, I'm going to drink this because I do have allotment of 20 this year, but this is going to cost me 1/20th of it, so I better enjoy it. It was an IPA. It was bitter. I hated every second of it, but I still sucked it down just so I could say I honored him. And then I went home and crossed off another spot on my list of alcohol drinks I'll have.
You mentioned a health kick. So I'm curious because your methods help entrepreneurs to transform their businesses. Has there been something like a personal transformation that's been similar for you?
Yeah, I've gone through a few transformational moments. So the one for me in business, so I was an entrepreneur ever since college. I had that one job and that was it. I had the good fortune of selling a couple businesses early on, but my ego got the best of me. I thought I had this all figured out. I was a genius. And I started another business as an angel investor, and I sucked. I lost everything, everything. except for my family. My wife and my children stuck with me. Then I discovered that I didn't know about entrepreneurship and I needed to resolve it. So I committed to learning about entrepreneurship. It's why I became an author. Everything I write about is something I'm trying to master for myself too. And I consider myself an average to meh entrepreneur, and I want to be great. So I challenge myself constantly and then document what works for me and share with others who are on a journey of improving themselves. And then with drinking, it was 2 or 3 years ago now that I heard that podcast, and I'm like, oh, I'm maniacal about this. I mean, I track a lot of stuff. I want to be in the top 1% of healthiest people at my age range. And there's certain metrics you can measure when it comes to physical fitness, like running and stuff. But there's these less tangible things. When you get your blood checked and so forth, at least less visible things. And I said, I got to master that too. And that's why I said, you know what? If alcohol's poison, I'm out. I have nothing against alcohol. I enjoyed it, but the consequence is too great for me to consume it.
I love that how you're tracking a lot of analytics, either in your business and your personal life. Is that like one of the maybe biggest personal habits that you have that have transformed you into the entrepreneur and person that you are today? Or
no question about it. I'll show you something because I actually have it here.
Oh yeah.
This is my backup copy. I have it in every space I work. So it says, if you can't read it, it says Mike Michalowicz, my life's intentions for 2025. Then I break it down, my health. And so in here, it'll talk about drinking, blood sugar level, running, no more than 20 drinks maximum, 20 alcoholic drinks maximum. But my mind, my relationships, my business, my books, my home, my community, my fun, my bucket list, my financials. On the back is the tracking sheet. Now this at my home is the one I actually track. So this is just a printout of it. But I track maniacally all these metrics. And it's been extremely helpful. On January 1st, because we have the office is closed, I will come into the office and I'll just walk around and I'll review all this as I write up my one for 2026. I do it on New Year's Day every day. And I'm always blown away by some of these accomplishments. I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually pulled it off. And I think if I never documented it, maybe I'd pull it off or not, but I would never know. At least I have something to measure against.
Yeah, I tend to go on more of like a feel thing, like how things feel a lot of times, and it's just a slow, gradual process, So what you've kind of said was eye-opening for me, just those habits and keeping track, and it seems like you're very intentional.
Very intentional. It's a little bit or maybe very bit obsessive, and I don't know if it's right for everybody. And I grew into it. This tracking system for myself, I've been doing for roughly 10 years. And so I keep since it's a paper sheet, I keep it. Look back at the 2015 one, and it's pretty sparse. It's just a couple things. Over the time, it's become more and more sophisticated and has served me better. The other thing that's interesting about this is the intentions I put in here. I want to stretch myself. So my goal or expectation is I'll hit 50% or more. I don't expect to hit all of them. Because if my commitment is to hit all of them, was I really stretching myself? But if I don't achieve them, am I just making these kind of rando goals and objectives? But some of them are major stretches for me, and we'll see. But usually I hit about 50 to 70% of them any given year.
Can you give an example of something that's a major stretch for you that's on there?
I think a random stretch is to hike the Appalachian Trail with my dog solo, not the entire trail this year. Just schedule-wise, I don't know if I do segment hikes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull the 7 days, which is just a little stretch on timing. I want to be on Saturday Night Live. That's the big stretch. That's in my bucket list. You got to be like super famous. You got to be kind of a celebrity, and you got to be funny. And I got a long run on that one, so that's a big stretch. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but we'll see. Never use a swear word on stage, and then by next year it's going to be not to swear anymore at all. And so
nice.
I used to use swear on stage and just to be funny, but then I don't even know. Can I amplify the funny without swearing? So I'm just challenging myself. And now I'm like, oh, can I just not swear at all?
I love that. That's interesting, just to make little challenges for yourself and see if you can grow.
Yeah. And they're not judgy. I like a good swear is hysterical. And I don't look at other people and say, well, I'm trying not to, you shouldn't. It's just I set these little random goals for me. They keep me motivated and excited, and it's just fun little challenges. It's my own version of a crossword puzzle or some other kind of challenge. Just I do with myself every day. And then if I break a rule too, I don't beat myself up over it. If I drop an F-bomb or something like that, I'm like, oh, shucks, my year's ruined. It's like, oh, okay, get better.
I think that's for a lot of people who are trying to quit drinking or make changes. I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind is that, like, you know, you're going to make mistakes, but just tracking that as like a data point, what caused that to happen? What can we do differently next time? And just move on, learn from it.
Yeah, and it's funny, when I stopped drinking, the biggest consequence is socially, the pressure. And what I found is other folks who are drinking, my sense has a little bit of a guilt that they're choosing to drink. I don't think they should, but they do. And then they feel, I better get Mike involved. So I was just out with a buddy. He's like, hey, man, you know, why don't you have a beer with me? I'm like, oh, I just don't want to, but thanks for the offer. He's like, no, come on, you really should. And so there's like this pressure. And I was thinking like, oh, you're pressuring me because you actually feel a little bit guilty about it. So I said, no, dude, I'm just not going to, but thanks. And then I responded, I said, don't feel guilty about having your beers. It doesn't affect me. I'm just going to drink whatever. I had a seltzer and a lime, which is my favorite go-to. And that's what I did. So there's this interesting social pressure. But what's also interesting is the common friends, the first time they discovered, like, oh, he's not really drinking, there's pressure. The second time, like, oh, he just doesn't drink, and there's no effect. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's socially fit in. Like, we're going to a wedding in a week or two. I'm going, I'll get a mocktail. And they can be delicious. Some of them are a little bit too sugary for me, but they can be delicious. And then that pressure also goes away from the outside of people feeling, you know, wanting you to join them in their pleasure, so to speak.
And a lot of times, to me, that's one of the benefits of going all in is people, like, they know there's a clear line. He's not doing this right now. So they don't feel any of those weird kind of awkward feelings because it's like it's a given. He's not doing it.
Exactly. And you know, I don't want anyone else to feel awkward. I found someone told me there's a great, if you're ever in a situation where people are feeling awkward, there's a great line to say, oh, I'm allergic to alcohol. And that just, it crushes it. Yeah. So yeah. I've never had to use that one, but I have that ready. If I'm in a situation where there's a higher pressure, I'll just say that. You know, the other pressure was, I shouldn't say pressure, but the other situation was with my own wife. We used to, you know, Friday night, we have a bar at our house, and I'd mix cocktails and stuff like that and make a drink. It was so part of our routine. What we realized is she still drinks, and we had to find something that subsidizes that routine, something that we can enjoy together, because she felt the missing piece. It wasn't the drinking. It was just like we're missing an activity that we enjoyed together. So we just found a new way to replace that.
Yeah.
Plus, I do like these non-alcoholic beers because I do like, it's interesting, this tradition for myself. I love college football. And on a Saturday, I like sit there with a bag of potato chips, and I do love the flavor of beer, but now I get these non-alcoholic beers like Guinness or Corona or Heineken. They're amazing. But there's been a new consequence. You can fire back like 10 or 15 of those over a day, except for the carbs. The bloating. So I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I might have to ditch those now, or at least reduce those.
I find that happens for a lot of people naturally. They start off drinking like so many of them, and then because there's really no buzz or no payoff, they just like kind of taper off.
No, but it's bloat. Yeah, it tapers off. It tapers off. Yeah, you know, it's interesting how much it's just habit. So I would sit down, 10 years ago, I'd sit down in front of the football game. I'd have over 3-4 hours. I might have a 6-pack watching the football game with my chips. Then I replaced it, said, I'm just going to have these zero Coronas, whatever. And I had 5 or 6 of them, but I'm like, oh, my stomach is so bloated. So I still like to have 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's great to have those options at places. And like, I think if people started having non-alcoholic champagne at weddings, then everyone could participate in the toast. Nobody has to have a different glass.
I 100%.
It's just providing that option.
100% agree.
What's one money mistake that you see in the wellness or the NA entrepreneurs making again and again?
I think there is this shiny object syndrome that happens. And what I mean is, I see consumers, I'm like the same. Oh, if I just had a plunge pool and, did this plunge activity, my life would be transformed. So there's this belief that when we make the new thing, it's going to be transformative. Everyone says that when you hop in a sauna, you feel so amazing. Then there's the actual usage of that thing. And what happens is you have to become habitual about it. If you're going to get the plunge pool or go to the spa that has one, you got to do it regularly. And it's in that regular effort where there's effort. And it's amazing how many people, including myself, when we're making efforts, like, oh, this is kind of exhausting. Like the plunge pool is actually really cold and it kind of hurts and do I have to do this every day or every whatever it is. Or the sauna, yeah, it's good, but I have to get down there and I get so sweaty and I got to clean up. So then what happens is the shiny object presents itself like, oh, you can take hydrogen pills and like, you drop them in your water and hydrogenate your water and that will be the transformative thing. Like, okay, screw the plunge, screw the sauna, I'm going hydrogen pills. And you do that, it's like, oh, I have to get up in the morning or whenever I do, I got to drop it and I got to wait for it to do. And then I'm like, maybe it's something else. So there's this crazy appeal in wellness just to try the new shiny thing because it seems like that's going to be the salvation. But really the salvation, I'm putting air quotes around that, is sticking with something.
Yeah.
And seeing it through. It's in the effort. Because really at the end of the day, all these wellness things, ultimately, this is my belief, I don't know how much they offer the healing as much as the new mindset sets the body to be healed because our mind is dictating our body's health. So be it the plunge pool or the sauna or non-alcoholic drinks, whatever it is, it's once you get to the commitment stage and there's a new identity about you, that's when the mind, in my opinion, comes in alignment with it and the body responds. So it's the stick-to-itness I think that's people aren't sticking with, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
I love that.
Before we move into our rapid fire round, is there anything else you want to tell the people? Anything you're excited about you got coming up?
I'm an author, so I'm writing a new book. It's called The Money Habit. I've written it, actually. I'm very proud of it. I think it's my best work. Better than Profit First, better than everything I've done. It's coming out in January. We have about 900 people have deployed already. And I think it's going to be a new way, a simpler way to handle finances. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it's the first time I've ever done something in the personal frontier. Historically, I've only done entrepreneurial books, so a little bit nervous, but also excited about that.
How long does it take you to write a book?
Forever. It takes me roughly 5 years.
Wow.
Now, I've written many books, so I write in parallel. There's a research phase. There's the codifying of the system. There's the testing with the people. Then there's the outline and then the writing. And then there's the editing phases. So the Money Habit, my new book, we're just finishing the editing and now going into what's called the proofreading phase. So it's a long journey for me. I know some authors can bang them out very quickly. That's just not who I am. It's a labor for sure, but it's a labor of love.
All right, rapid fire time.
Rapid fire round.
Here we go. All right, we'll start you off easy. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Pizza or wings?
Wings.
What's your most listened to genre of music?
80s hairband metal by far.
Right. What's your favorite way to move your body?
Favorite way to move my body? Probably weightlifting.
What's your morning beverage?
Hydrogen water, ironically. I know the hypocrite himself.
Do you have a nickname?
Not one I can repeat. I mean, they're filthy. Because I break my rule on swearing. But with Michalowicz, wits rhymes with a lot of words, so you can guess.
Yeah. Touche.
I saw you have a guitar back there. Do you play the guitar or any other musical instruments?
Yeah. Play guitar. I'm an intermediate level guitarist. I'm starting to practice harmonica a little bit too.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Just staying curious.
It's not going to go that great for your glam rock band, though.
No. I'm just stuck with Billy Joel if I'm going to do the harmonica. But no, I got an electric at home. I can bang out the glam stuff. I was just doing, this is really glam, but I was working on AC/DC this morning. I was doing some Hell's Bells.
Nice. Yeah.
Just start every morning like that. Hydrogen water and Hell's Bells.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite feature of your own face?
I like the beard. I never thought I would. So it's my beard. It's a little bit, I want to grow it out a bit more.
Can you give us a book recommendation that's not one of your books?
No. Are you kidding me? No. I totally can. Today I just finished Upstream by Dan Heath.
Okay.
It's about how to fix problems before they become a problem.
And you recommend? I've read some of, it's Chip and Dan that write books together, right? Some of their books.
Yeah, they're extraordinary. I've read all their stuff. Yeah, Upstream, highly recommended. Very interesting insights.
Well, do you listen or do you read the actual books?
I listen. Well, I have a garden and an orchard at our house. So while I'm in the orchard or the garden is when I'm listening.
Orchard.
Yeah. Goals. That's the goal, Mike. An orchard, yeah.
This quick little story, I met with 10 business owners and I said, when we were buying our house, I said, what's the ideal house? I want to have a destination home where my kids have all grown up and moved out, or they want to come home not out of obligation, but out of desire. And I built a list of 175 things. Have a pinball machine, but only have one because people like to play pinball, but they like to watch each other. If you have two, they separate. Have a poker table, have a jacuzzi, but make sure it's 8 people, an 8-person jacuzzi, because only 4 people get in it, but your feet won't touch. One of them was have an orchard, because when you have grandchildren, it'll take about 5-10 years for it to mature. They want to pick the berries and the fruit, and it's the most joyous activity. So I started our orchard 5 years ago, and sure enough, it's bearing fruit, and no grandkids yet, and I'm in no rush. My wife, and when my kids come, everyone likes to go in the orchard and pick an apple or a pear and eat away.
I love it.
I think I'm good on my rapid fire.
Quickly, do you have time? We probably need about 10 more minutes, so I don't know what your schedule's like.
Oh, I gotta hop on a call in 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll write a song.
Okay.
A little song about you.
Mike is the guy, so you get yours first. Not making money is a natural rush. Does it gonna grow your biz? He's writing books to help entrepreneurs. Change the way you think so you can get yours. Profit, gonna grow your biz. Oh, are you ready to go? Oh, are you ready now? Mike Michalowicz, put your profit first. Monday. Mike Michalowicz, put your profit first.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mike. Tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Oh, I should have given this is my nickname. This is the only PG nickname I have. It's MikeMotorbike.com, as in motorcycle. I also have MikeMichalowicz.com, but no one can spell it. So MikeMotorbike.com. All my books are there. I used to write for the Wall Street Journal. You can get that stuff there too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. Appreciate you.
This was fun. See you, Stephanie. See you, John.